Welcome to She Found Herself. I'm Vera, your guide on this sacred yet slightly unhinged journey back to the truth of who you really are. I'm feeling especially dramatic today, and honestly, I can't really blame the planets. If you know, you know. And I say this because you have to know that the month ebbs and flows not just with cycles of the moon, but also cycles of past trauma and karma of things that we haven't even dealt with. And what I really meant to say too is menstrual cycles. So, if we're going to talk about planets, Pluto actually is retrograding right now. And if you've been feeling emotionally wrecked one minute and then the other, you're feeling really electric and energetic, you are not alone. We are in a completely full blown period of super deep transformation. We're shedding old identities. This retrograde is about you, your power, your control, your ability to influence others, and all the old shit that still tells you to shut it all down. So it feels fitting that this first episode is about perfectionism, people pleasing, and the internal resistance that still trips me up even now. So even after all of the work, all of the healing, even after I found myself, I still got stuck anyway. So let's get something straight here. Perfection is a lie. And yet, it's one that so many of us have been really addicted to. I speak for myself. I grew up believing that if I did it all right, if I was beautiful, polite, smart, dependable, and just kept everyone happy, that I would be happy. I would be loved, that I would be safe, that I would attract the same things, right? Completely wrong. I remember this moment so clearly. I haven't told the story to the public before, so this is kind of hard for me to articulate. But about 5 years ago, I was working on an emotional intelligence exercise with my friend Tiffany Mast, and I told her a story about my dad and how upset he got when I didn't have a sharp pencil when I was in second or third grade in doing my homework. I was super proud of myself for finishing my homework, and I felt really smart because it was math and I completed it. I knew all of the answers were right. The response I got when I showed my dad my homework was that my pencil markings weren't sharp, so I had to erase the whole entire sheet and I had to redo everything. So from that day on, I became Sharp Pencil Vera. And I've always been ready, I've always been perfect, and I just wanted him to be proud. That one moment became a whole identity for me. Perfect Vera equals loved Vera. And if I wasn't perfect, I believed that I wasn't lovable. And that belief ruled me for decades. And here's the thing, I didn't even realize that it was happening. I thought I was being responsible. I thought I was just high achieving, but I wasn't chasing dreams at all. I was chasing approval. And Tiffany helped me start questioning everything that I believed. She asked me one question I would always ask myself in everything I did moving forward. And I'm going to share that with you now in hopes that you have the courage to ask yourself this question every time you believe something about you is true. And that question is, who told you that and what of that is true? I started to question everything that my mind thought and also became an expert of asking myself questions and challenging everything. I have 3 questions for you that I put in a freebie. Most women don't know how to answer them and some don't want to face them. I'll let you choose which one you are. You can grab the Not Another Self-Help worksheet in my links, and I'd love to know which one was the hardest for you to answer. And if you're confused as fuck about what the importance of what your answers are, then definitely reach out and I can help you walk through them or continue listening because we're going to go over that. What you'll probably find with those questions, though, is that everything that you once believed in has probably been a complete lie. I know all of this stuff is kind of mind blowing, but yeah, believe me, we haven't even gotten to the deep stuff yet. Okay, so a couple of confessions. If you're a recovering people pleaser, raise your hand. I see you. People pleasing looks noble, right? It looks like love. It looks like taking up a shift when you're on 2 hours of sleep or going to dinner when you just want to Netflix and chill alone. And when you go to a party, but could also use some extra rest, saying yes when you're not really wanting to, and saying that you like something when you don't. most of the time, all this is fear in disguise. So it's the fear of rejection, fear of disappointing someone, fear of being misunderstood and abandoned. And nobody ever likes feeling that way. I've personally grown just figuring out how to be likable and how to be liked. But the truth of it all is I still get triggered all the time. I used to say yes to literally everything when my body was clearly screaming, hell effing no. Even when my calendar was full, even when I was exhausted, even when it meant sacrificing my peace and my mental health, I would people please in relationships, agree to everything that everyone else wanted. In business, I would agree with anything that would make me likable. In motherhood, I was always the one eating last. And then I'd be angry, not at them per se, but really at me because I was depleting my soul and betraying myself to make other people feel good about themselves for years. Alrighty, let's see. High achieving women. Let's talk about our triggers. So, these are the six biggest triggers that I see and feel. So, the fear of failure, feeling like if you mess up, it means that it's equal to your worth. We all know that that's untrue. Number two, imposter syndrome. Like everyone's about to find out that you're not qualified to do what you're trying to do. Number three, overcommitment. So saying yes to too much and burning yourself to the ground. Four, neglecting your needs, putting everybody else first until you're sick, angry, or invisible. Number five, the comparison trap. Scrolling, spiraling, and forgetting that you yourself are magic. And number six, doing things instead of feeling. So going about life in autopilot or just being a robot. Do any of those sound familiar? And do any of those things piss you off when you do them? Because you're totally betraying yourself in that moment. You're saying yes when you really mean no. You're feeling ick about something, but you're still going with it. Let me tell you something real right now. I didn't just almost stall this episode, I stalled everything. I went quiet for months, almost a full year because I wasn't out of ideas. I had tons of ideas, and not because I didn't care, but because I was literally drowning in limiting beliefs that sounded like they were the truth to me. Feelings and thoughts of me like missing my moment, that I never follow through, that I'm inconsistent, that people are watching me and they're thinking that I'm fake or a fraud. And I believed those thoughts 100%. I pulled back from creating content and I ghosted every part of my business. I avoided opportunities that I literally prayed for and God delivered. But because deep down I didn't feel worthy of them, I called it grace. I called it rest. I called it my reflection period, my getting to know myself inside era. But what it really was self abandonment and self sabotage. Just wearing this nice little robe of wellness and self care. It was an illusion, and I was stuck in survival mode spiritually. I knew who I was, but I didn't feel safe enough to be her. And that's what this episode is really about. It's not just about the triggers, it's what they keep us from becoming. They steal our voice, our presence, our purpose, but you're here because we're done and we're tired and they're not going to do that anymore. Let me tell you something else that's vulnerable. I almost didn't even record this episode because the voice came back. Do you do you really think that you can do this? Who do you think you are? You are so inconsistent. You're not ready. You're not qualified. It was blaring so loud. I stalled. I rewrote everything that I did and I looked over everything I did 20 times. I opened up my laptop and closed it. I spiraled a little bit. I stayed in bed for a little bit. I complained a lot about it and really just called it, it's probably just not for me and it's not God's timing. I caught it, the old perfectionist programming, that recovering people pleaser dressed in another new outfit. And it is such an illusionist. It wasn't until recently that I remembered that I'm not here to be perfect. I'm here to be true. I'm here to be seen, even messy, even scared, even unfiltered. So I hit record and I let you in, and now we're here. So if you're in it right now, here's what has helped me. the pause, stepping back and then noticing what's really going on. What's really happening is we're stuck again in this limiting belief, in this comparison trap, right? And then reframing. Ask, is this true or is this my conditioning? Who told me that this is who I am? Where did the story and belief come from? Let's get to that truth voice. Talking to your inner child. Let her be messy. Let her tell you why she's hiding or protecting you. Let her know that it's okay and that we're going to be okay now. And then the boundary. You don't owe anyone your peace. You don't owe anyone your perfection. You don't owe anyone a watered down version of yourself. You don't have to show up as somebody that you're not. You don't owe anyone any of that. And honestly, you owe yourself everything. You've sacrificed for years. And then the reminder, let's see, progress isn't linear. You're not behind. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not missing anything. You're slowly remembering who you are. And that does not have a timeline. You are on your own journey. They're on their own journey. You are just on time. Okay, so most importantly, a lot of people won't like this because they don't understand the definition of what truly being selfish is. But seriously, get selfish. Not reckless, not avoidant. Don't be an asshole. Just be honest and be selfish. Selfish women are self-led, and that's the most sacred thing that you can be. Putting yourself first is so important because we've always put ourselves last, and it's our turn now. Have you ever wondered when it's your turn? It used to never be your turn, right? But it's your turn now. It's your turn to be selfish. If this episode cracked you open, even just a little bit, or if something happened in you, then that's good. That's the point. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be liked. You need to be real, and you need to be you. So come join us inside the Wild Heart Sanctuary. It's our space to unlearn, rebuild, and remember, to get obsessed with who we actually are, to let our truth breathe. And if you're not ready for the deeper dive yet, subscribe, continue listening, share this, and DM me the word truth. Say that you felt something here, because I did. And girl, we are just getting started. I'll see you on the next one.